My fucking
Cinestro, call the gas. It's your weekly gold mine. Stay tuned in. Stay tuned in. They got the beats, got those comic spins. I stay tuned in. Stay
if you circumcise your children, you have a special place in hell.
What's up? What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the amazing four. It's your boy Blackskin. Today we're discussing The Boys season 4 finale, plus the blockbuster hit of the summer, Twister, starring the one and only Glenn Powell, plus our hype meter for the Deadpool 3. We're releasing whatever today is, tomorrow. This week, July 26th. Soon in theaters soon. Let's get right into it.
It's happening.
Let's start at the top.
I tried to hit my pen through the entirety of the theme song. I couldn't do it.
Your pen?
Fought back.
Is that what happened? It fought back?
Yeah.
Brother, that's a 30-second theme song.
I don't know what I was thinking. You won't let me do that. Who did that?
This is a free country. This is America. This is America. You can do it.
This ain't communist. Believe it or not, you have rights, Easy.
I can taste my larynx.
Let's talk about the right. Let's talk about the rights that are going to be taken away in season 5 of The Boys. With the outcome of the finale.
Greatest segue,
I'm back,
brother.
baby. I'm back, baby.
Excellent.
Season 4 of The Boys ended on one of the highest, craziest notes of this season for sure.
Mm-hmm.
One of the craziest notes of this season. It can only end on
the
one
whole
note,
series. Man. The whole series.
I think the whole series, man.
This season was we had our
ups and downs,
our mixed reviews throughout the season.
Yeah,
it really picked up the last couple episodes, and going into this one with the finale, I was not expecting that, especially because AZ knows this for sure as a reader of the comics. I'm not able to predict what's going to happen anymore. It's taken too many turns
veered from the comics pretty drastically.
Oh, dude, it's not only veered. It is Tokyo drifting way the fuck away. We are in uncharted waters, my friend. I think we're gonna get some semblance of the finale from the comics, but I really don't see it going down the exact same way because they really just kind of speed run the whole superhero revolution, as I've said before. Homelander gets a bunch of superheroes. They talk in the sky for a minute, and they just destroy the Capitol and take over. Beautiful. That's it. Realistically, with how
they basically did that in the show, but it wasn't
because
violent
the show
means. It was like
the show is much more grounded, right? Like it makes much more sense.
Well, grounded as in a world
grounded
superheroes.
It's a very like hyper realism to it. Like it's supposed to mirror our real world, and realistically, if they tried to do that. Right, that would just be lame as fuck because all we get is just some fucking CGI slap fight between the government and the soups. And that would be lame as fuck.
Right.
So going this way, managing to extend what's like a short narrative beat in the comics into like a whole season, I like that. They're doing good. I don't know where they're going though.
It's just too.
It's pretty obvious.
And like you said, it's taken a lot of. They've taken a lot of liberties on themselves to make this show. Mm-hmm. Like you said, grounded, more realistic too, but also just a different, especially given today's electrified political climate. They're doing everything they can to mirror.
What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
I mean exactly what I said, but
electrified.
Word for word, bar for bar, just like that. We got some real Stormfront fans in real life, storm chasers in real life who think they. Anyways, let me not get into that. You go.
Let's not go on a tangent. Yeah.
Go watch a discussion about season 2. But no, this is reflecting the current political climate, the state of the world today, but tying it into the world of the Boys comics. And I think that Eric Kripke and co. have done something so great that they've managed to take. I wouldn't say this is a very popular comic. It's not like Avengers and Batman, Justice League, all that. It's got like a cult following, I guess, but this is not a mainline comic, No one thinks, The Boys comics when they think about great big name comics. And they managed to do something with what they got and turn into this phenomenal show. The ending was mind-boggling, mind-blowing. I got to give Erin Moriarty her props. She cooked. She scared me. playing the other version of herself because I was like, where was this? Like the entire like this is crazy. And
it was in the writing. They hadn't given her anything to do up until this point.
Exactly.
You know?
It was kind of just along for the ride for the most part up until this point.
Yeah.
So I think this season leaves off on a point where we really got to ask what's next for the boys. And speaking of, we know that Gen V season 2 should be coming out here in a couple of years, or if they haven't already started filming
next year. They're leapfrogging each other. So you get Boys season 4, Gen V season 2, Boys season 5, and then
we get the Boys
Mexico. Boys Mexico.
I think that's
because they want to do.
I hope that's just it.
You hope what?
I hope after the Boys season 5, the whole property's done.
No, because they're still gonna do
the fuck you, bitch. No, we deserve our shit too. Fuck you, AZ.
Because the only reason why I believe this is just because The Boys is in itself a satirization of the superhero.
They're becoming the very thing that they
they sought to destroy, and it feels
and it can
fucking cheap. Right? It feels like it's just going to be diminishing return after diminishing return. The closest thing they've done to a major spinoff has been Gen V, but that's the only one they've done. And I feel like they're not going to have that same amount of steam.
But Gen V didn't have Gael Garcia Bernal and Diego Luna as producers and stars. So that in and of itself, I'm locked in.
It is. I'm not saying it's impossible for it to be good. It definitely has a possibility to be to make me just eat my words. But I would not be hopeful for it because I feel like if you run an IP with overexposure, over and over again, you get an effect like what we saw with Marvel after Endgame, because The Boys season 5 is shaping up to be like an explosive finale to the whole thing, right? Provided that's where it ends, and then everything else after that is going to feel like everything post Endgame for Marvel. It's just
we don't know.
Maybe there'll be a Guardians 3 in there. Who knows? But it just I'd have to see it.
I just want to say something about
on that end real quick. That's totally up to the writing. Like Louis said, they gave good writing this season, this episode for everyone involved. So I want to say let's give it a chance. They've proven that they can handle this universe really well. I say maybe they'll be able to avoid the MCU fatigue, so to speak, the boys fatigue, so to speak. They, as long as they don't run into the same Eric Kripke problem of 15 seasons worth of something, with Supernatural or whatever. As long as they don't do that. Love you, Eric Kripke. But please, let's cap this at 5.
Never again.
Cap the rest of these at like maybe 3 seasons each, so we're done, But go ahead, Luke. What are you about to say?
I just want to talk about the finale for a bit. I know that on some previous episodes, I was very vocal about just kind of how all over the place it feels, and like it just feels like we're getting where it's like, oh, this episode's good, this one's not that good, this one's really good and really interesting. But what I liked about this finale is that it did the opposite of what the Acolyte did, in that I thought it was a very good finale to the season. And what it did very well was it not only answered like some questions about like the season, like for example, what is Butcher's power? How did he kill that one preacher superhero? Like what is going on with Ezekiel? Like what's going on with Butcher? What are we getting any progress or any momentum moving forward for Huey and Starlight and for Kimiko and Frenchie? And we did, and so it answered a lot of questions. It moved a lot of characters forward, but at the same time, it kind of left us in a good spot, because we're like, okay, we've discovered a lot of things, we found out a lot of things, but we also have some questions moving forward into season 5, and you're curious because you're like, oh, what is Homelander gonna do? What are the boys gonna do? They're separated. What's Ashley's power? Yeah, exactly. So it did a really good job, I think, as a season finale. It answered questions, but it presented new ones.
Yeah, as many more questions, and I think it promotes the show's longevity.
Exactly, and that's just regardless of how it felt in the middle. I think that if you end something strong, and I think it was a very good ending to a good season, and so I really liked how it ended, and I think it made me excited for season 5. Throughout the season, I was like, I don't know, I'm kind of getting over this. But I think after watching that finale, I was like, yeah, dude, I'm locked in. Whatever season 5 is going to give, I think they're going to go balls to the wall. It's the last season.
Yeah.
I feel like they're just going to be like, fuck it, dude. We have nothing to lose.
Go for it. Full send.
I think honestly,
a fucking baby.
Yeah.
I want him to do what he did on the airplane in that one panel. Y'all know the one.
No, not that.
Anthony Starr.
I do really quick want to touch on what my favorite thing was about the finale, just overall. I already made a video on this, which you can watch at youtube.com/Tarasingo. But I did a video on the boys finale and just why I loved it so much. And it wasn't like an in-depth recap. But the main reason I loved it was because throughout the entire series, as I saw Butcher getting softer and softer, letting more people in, becoming more tolerant, more accepting and everything, and just being able to use teamwork and love each other, it was beautiful, quite frankly, and it made me disgusted. It made me fucking sickened. Because as much as I hate the boys comic, like just overall as a piece of media, there are small moments that I like, small little bits of gold in the turd that is that piece of media. And Billy Butcher and his like never-ending scorched earth rampage to kill every suit possible out of just pure malice is my favorite thing, because people who are just evil and driven on one path are my favorite type of character. So to see him get softer, I was like, okay, this is lame as fuck. Then when he sees his little kid go full fucking Brightburn and snap that stupid bitch Mallory's neck because she can't let two niggas just have a conversation.
She did that herself, bro.
When he could have lived.
Yeah. Like,
she really could have lived. That's the one thing, though.
It's good storytelling, though.
Because
if you don't present Billy with any different any different perspective, any change in his ideology, anything that rubs against
Patsy could have taken.
Exactly. It's like then the character starts to feel one note, and then that's when the repetitiveness of the show starts to kick in, and you're like, are we doing anything new? This is the same shit. There's no growth. There's nothing different. So the fact that although you found it kind of lame that Butcher was a lot softer, I, as someone who never read the books, never read the comics, and is only approaching this from like a kind of beginner perspective, I thought this was really great. I was like, this is the most interesting Butcher's ever been. That scene whenever he's sick and he's sitting on the hospital bed, he's like, tell the boys I'm sorry for. Just tell them I'm sorry. I was like, that's adding this unique layer to Butcher that we hadn't seen before. I was like, and this is good. This is good storytelling. This is good writing, because they're making the character that much more complex and that much more interesting.
I do agree with you there, Luis. I do indeed. Like, I agree that it was really good to flesh him out and really make him, an actual person. Because in the comic, he's very relatively one note. His mom. His wife dies, and then he hates superheroes. That's it, just like for the rest of it, right? And he's just a bastard to everyone. He's just a dick. And so, seeing the way that they developed the original source material and made it into something that's more tangible, more palatable to it just not even me as someone who's read the original comic, but even like newer audiences to where they can do all this crazy stuff but still have like that same heart was very nice. And I did really think the emotional part of Butcher that we were seeing became less repetitive this season because he was going closer towards his immortality. And the main reason why I kind of was starting to not like, the whole emotional attachment and the angle of like Butcher dying and everything was because I was like, man, I really feel like this ending is going to kind of be cheap, because if they do some stupid shit where it's like Ryan is the one to defeat Homelander, I'm going to be kind of bored. I would have preferred to see like a final showdown between Butcher or anyone else in Homelander, or maybe even just like, see some kind of progression of Butcher forward till like he's on his last breath or something, because the final moments between him and the person who ends up doing him in the comic, I don't want to spoil it, is one of the most beautiful things. So I thought we were going to be robbed of a moment like that. And then to see him get to like where he's almost able to make peace with his end. And then have the one glimmer of hope, the one thing that brought him to that happy place, right as he was about to take his final step over, to snap on him like that and just completely cut him off, and for him to go full fucking Kessler. Dude, nigga had a kraken in his chest. It was great. It was so amazing. The motivation for him to go on this nihilistic, scorched earth view of Soups to where he's fine with the genocide, I felt was so much more impactful than it is in the comic. 1000%. Because it's not only his wife that is gone from him, you know, his world.
Now it's Ryan too.
Now it's Ryan. Now he has no one.
For the humanity and the goodness that can be inside of Soups is gone. Right? That was his last chance. Yeah, exactly. For him to kind of be like
and seeing that happen was amazing. I really did enjoy it. Now, I did roll my eyes near the end when Kimiko and Frenchie kissed because I was like, oh, we're doing this again.
I didn't. I like that.
I'm glad it happened because it added weight to the very end of the episode.
Agreed.
Especially that part.
I don't care about anything that has Frenchie in it because he's a fucking war criminal. Fuck that guy.
Fuck Tomer Capone. Agreed. But it's like I thought that it actually frustrated me because I was like, we should have done this from the beginning. The deviation that we did with Frenchie and being guilty and giving himself for the conflict, that's all bullshit. I was like, it was a waste of time. You guys didn't know. You wrote yourselves into a circle and you didn't know what to do with Frenchie and Kimiko's relationship. And you're like, we know we want them to make up, get together towards the end so that we can rip them apart the very last episode. They knew that's what they wanted to do. And they're like, let's try to figure out what to do in the meantime. Kimiko is confronted by this chick from her past with no explanation. That went nowhere. They're like, and then Frenchie will give himself over because he finally feels guilty for killing all these people. But guess what? They let him go, and now he's here, and then he gets separated from them. So like that, the Frenchie and Kimiko's relationship, although I think it ended in a very logical place and a place that I felt comfortable with, and I was like, okay, this is what I want from these characters. Everything leading up to that, I thought was kind of bullshit.
Yeah,
it was
they could have been that this whole season.
That's what I'm saying.
Why
I feel like that would have made that moment even more. Like,
exactly because now we spent 4, 5, 6 episodes with them, kind of like as a romantic thing, you know, as a relationship or whatever. So that at the very end, when he's being ripped away from her and she's being held back, and she finally speaks for the first time as she screams, "No!" That it's that much more of an emotional impact. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't like how they handled that, but
I think it was just because of everything else that was going on within the finale, like all of the major beats and the major twists and like the major character shifts and everything. Because I had been annoyed almost the whole season with their dynamic as to why it wasn't really progressing forward, like why it just reached this grinding halt. By the time that it got to that point, it didn't. It wasn't necessarily like a negative. But because of everything else that had happened, it was like still the lowest point. It was still like the least important. So I was like, okay, it's cool. And then I realized when I rewatched it, I was like, oh my God, wait, she spoke for the first time. Holy shit, holy fuck. Right? That was cool. I thought that was very impactful. Other than that, everything else was like a lot better than that. It outweighed that. Including getting to see my goat love sausage, who unfortunately is a traitorous bastard and not my glorious communist king from the comic.
Uncircumcised
really
king.
He's not their friend in this fucking show.
Yeah, I really
in the comics
he really should be.
Yeah, dude, he's there. He's a fucking goat, dude. He's so fucking cool.
That's awesome. That's funny.
Yeah, they gave that motherfucker a heel turn for the show.
Yeah, bro.
Bad choice, in my opinion.
He literally is the reason they defeat Stormfront in the comic. Because Stormfront's a dude, and he like fucking goes through the ceiling like a skylight, lands on him, and fucking starts beating the dog shit out of him
with his dick.
He's like, "For Mother Russia," yeah. He's my communist king, bro.
Should have been even more peak, dude.
That's awesome.
His last name is Boriskin, which if you mispronounce it, sounds like foreskin, and I love that.
Funny.
So
that's
much.
funny.
That's so.
That's so edgy 11, like 12-year-old humor. It's so stupid, you know.
It's like if your name is
so good.
Huge ass.
Yeah, exactly.
Huge assman.
Yeah.
Huge assman.
Jesus Christ. Michael Oxlong.
All in all, I say we should do 2 ratings. We should do one for the finale itself, and then one for the whole season.
Well, any more thoughts, Matt? You haven't really spoken about the finale or the
season. My last point before we do the ratings, real quick. I just wanted to touch on just the all-star cast and all-star performances we've had, not just in this season, but this entire series, bro. We've had very many talented actors pop up either in big roles that have lasted for 3-4 seasons or cameos and they fucking sell it. Starting at the top, Anthony Starr, killing it as Homelander, phenomenal. This is an Emmy-winning role for him.
He's not winning that Emmy until season 5.
Until season 5. Season 5, they're gonna, because we talked in the Emmy episode last week's episode with the Emmys. They'll give him the Emmy because it's the last season of The Boys. Yeah. But following that, Carl Urban is Billy Butcher. Great. He's a dynamic character versus the Butcher in the comics.
Of Carl Urban. Thank you, Eric.
Yeah,
him. Bro, I think like no bullshit. I love Anthony Starr. I think Carl Urban is just the best actor on this show, bar none.
1,000%.
I just think he's in a. I love Anthony Starr. I think what he's doing is great. I think he steals the show. But I think Carl Urban is incredibly. I think he's incredibly underrated and he's incredibly understated in this show. I don't think people realize exactly what it is that he's doing, and just he's so fucking good. And like I said, that scene when he's in the bed and he's kind of crying and he's just kind of like come to terms with the fact that he's gonna die, and he's like, just tell the boys I'm sorry because he's made his decision as to what he's gonna do. That scene in and of it, it's just like this man he's on some other shit.
You gotta look at it like this too. Anthony Starr, Homelander started off good until things went downhill as season 1 progressed. He's already on a decline. Butcher has been up, down, all over. He's playing all. Carl Urban's having to do more than one role within.
Butcher's not a good guy. He's not a good guy.
He's very. There's just a lot going on with him. Homelander, at least you can tell, like, hey, he's just evil. But
Homelander's just bad. Exactly.
Anthony plays him so well, it's like it's scary, you know. It's not. That's not to discredit Anthony in any way. That's just to highlight how much more Carl is having to do. So this Emmy nomination thing next 2027, 26 Emmys, whenever this next season comes out, the following Emmy cycle is going to be very interesting. So
they're never going to give it to the boys, but
I hope so.
We'll see.
I sure hope so. But yeah, Anthony Starr, Carl Urban, Aaron Moriarty, this episode for sure. Of course, our favorite GOAT of all time, Jensen Ackles. I hope we see him do damage in season 5. I need my GOAT back.
You mentioned Aaron, bro, but yeah, dude, it's so hard to play, be the same actor playing 2 different characters, and the nuance that Aaron just gave, like the little slight differences between the shapeshifter character and the real Starlight. She was amazing in this episode, and that's kind of frustrating as well because you're like, look what she can do.
Take notes.
Exactly, because you're like, look at what she can do. She can act her ass off, and it's just so frustrating to see that she's been sidelined the entirety of the season. But it's exciting to see that they finally gave her an episode. Hopefully they realize what they have with her and give her a lot more to do in season 5. But yeah, like you said, I really want to shout out her performance this episode because I think she was great. She was amazing.
She was really cooking, and like even people on Twitter. I know Twitter's not the greatest metric for shows because everyone has their own opinions, but for the most part, everyone's saying the same thing. Aaron cooks in this episode. It's chilling, and you can kind of see the fear in Annie's face versus shapeshifters, menacing, kind of chaotic, almost like not Joker-esque, but like just that pure chaos, wanting to do
like a latent malevolence kind of thing.
She's having a good time.
She is.
She's having fun being bad.
She's doing this shit for the love of the game.
She's committed to the bit.
When the shifter is talking about how they don't even remember what they look like anymore,
that shit was insane.
I was like, oh my god, oh my god, my non-binary monster. I love this.
Not saying that all NB people are monsters. Please, AZ, absolutely not.
Jesus Christ.
Please forgive AZ's outburst.
Please forgive AZ's fucking discrimination, but
okay.
For those of you who do not know of the Cinestro core lore.
No, but yeah, I think you're right. I think the cast is very important to shout out the cast. I think they're all good except for Jack fucking Quaid, bitch ass.
Don't give that fucking Don't give that man any more fucking emotional scenes.
Please.
No, because it was so jarring seeing him act opposite Simon Pegg. Because with Simon, he's like, it's very clear that he's like not. I don't want to say not trying, but he's doing it right. And Jack is like doing. He's like trying to force himself to fucking cry.
Okay,
it's almost like Jack Quaid cannot act.
No,
genuinely, he can only vocally act. I swear by this. He can only vocally act. His voice is amazing. He's great at delivery.
And that's a skill
that emotion is just fine. Not. Yeah, conveying the emotion, he's just not there. Because like I was talking with my friend about this, right? My friend Isaac, he's like Huey's not that bad of an actor, and I explained to him the reason of why we don't really like Jack Quaid's acting. And I was like, the face he does anytime he tries to convey himself being sad or angry. And he's like, I don't. He's like, I think so. And before I even turned on my camera, he was like, wait a minute, no, I know exactly which face you're about to do, and I did it. And it's just this.
Yeah, because he scrunches his eyebrows will scrunch in, and his lip will like quiver, and he'll be like, he goes, you want to know how I knew that the shifter wasn't you? I'm like, dude, come on.
He's about to shit, nut, and just punch somebody at the same time.
I remember seeing something about the director wanting to cut back and forth between Huey and Butcher during that phone call scene. I'm so glad they stuck with
Eric Kripke directed. I saw that interview, and he said, Carl Urban was so good, you just couldn't cut. You couldn't cut away from him, and I was like, yeah,
which I'm sure is true. Yeah, but it's also it's like fucking Jack was also probably so dog shit he couldn't cut to him.
Yeah, Eric was probably like, this is night and day. Like you can't cut from what Carl is giving us and doing here, and then cut to fucking Jack Quaid. You can't. That's just like
I want to think that
on the other side of that phone, like, okay, Butcher, I'll tell the boys, like, get the fuck, come on, man.
I really would have loved it. I feel like if you got in season 5, there's a moment where instead of Jack Quaid on screen, it's just a cardboard cutout of Jack Quaid. And that's the Emmy-nominated episode because it's his best performance.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me. Yeah,
you just attach like a fucking noisemaker to the back of it,
and I know people are like, "Oh, acting's hard. You guys are being rough." No, I don't give a fuck. You're a nepo baby. You better make sure you earn and you deserve your fucking right to be there. Because if the only reason you're famous is because your parents are famous and you don't have the talent to back it up, suck my fucking dick. Because it's already a hard enough industry to get into. It's already a hard enough craft to try to master. If you're bad on top of that, that's just like adding insult to injury. Because there's so many actors and actresses out there that are not professional, that haven't made it, that are incredibly talented. And Jack Quaid's bitch ass is on screen every week, embarrassing himself, and it's like, come on, dude. It's just and then giving interviews saying, I've worked for where to get here. I know I'm an Nepo baby, but I've worked really hard. Suck my fucking dick. No, you haven't. Shut the fuck up. Take some classes, bitch, because you aren't working hard enough.
Mr. Quaid, I would just like to say you're a terrific Superman. So if you could continue to do that, that'd be cool. Everything
Mr. Quaid,
else,
I don't watch fucking cartoons.
Exactly. I'm a grown ass man, bitch. Be good on screen. How about that?
I think you're a great Superman, and I'm not even saying this unironically.
I'm glad you didn't get a call back for the real fucking Superman, bitch.
Well, goddamn.
His only role would have been Jimmy Olsen.
The CIA couldn't get that.
Yeah, it'd probably be Jimmy Olsen.
I know. Yeah,
like I put certified Jimmy Olsen.
He's like, yeah, I auditioned for that. I didn't hear back, but I put myself on tape. Shut up. Don't say that shit. No one asked. No one even thought about that. No one ever considered. Jack Quaid probably auditioned for Superman. So shut the fuck up. If you didn't get the role, keep that shit to yourself, bitch.
Not even John Wick could get that out of me, bro.
Anyways,
good season.
Good season finale. Good season finale. Anything else to say, man?
We're not even going to talk about fucking Newman getting ripped in half.
Oh, you want to talk about it?
You want to talk about it?
Go for it, Gerardo.
I mean, I don't know what to say. I just thought that shit was cool.
It was fun, bro.
I love that they were like, they had a plan. And Huey stepped up, and they were like, "Okay, we trust you." It was just like, nah, fuck that.
Butcher said,
yeah. Butcher said,
I'm ripping this bitch in half.
He said, nah, he Matt, I'm surprised you didn't say it, bro. Butcher walked in there, he said, I don't want peace. I want problems.
Literally.
I want problems.
Punched your stupid little xenomorph bitch ass.
And look, and that's one of the things about the show that I'm just like, here we go. It always teases you and it's fucking luring you and it pulls you back and it's like, oh, we're getting somewhere. No, we're not. We're 1 step forward, 3 steps back. What are we doing? And I get it. And I get that's the nature of the show.
Oh God, we're gonna get Butcher's powers. No, we're sitting in Annie's office talking about Frenchie feeling bad.
Exactly.
Finally.
That scene specifically about Newman getting killed, you're like, okay, Butcher's doing his own thing. Huey's stepping up. This is a big thing for his character. Finally, he's not being the shy, kind of little scared ass bitch anymore. He's taking matters into his own hands. Nope, fuck that. Butcher came through, completely shit on the entire plan. And now they're nowhere. They've made no progress. They have no leverage. And so
now they're all caught by fucking Vought and
the brevity and just disregard that they dispatched Newman with too is just so great. The just instant I don't give a fuck what you are.
They're not precious about their characters.
No, because they've also like positioned her as this, oh, she's a badass, like she can blow your head up with just a thought and like making her this kind of scary, untouchable person. And Butcher just comes in and says, "Nah, fuck that. Whoop, Lego that bitch, rip her in half. Bye. Let's keep moving." Like it felt at the time it felt anticlimactic, but I was at the same time I was like, nah, this show does all types of crazy.
Nah, boy, when the score picked up, I said, yes, run that bitch back one more time.
Run that bitch back. 3 times. Butcher came in, he turned around, he does his little
you're all fucking
he does a little daddy's. I'm like, yeah, bro. Yeah. I was in my seat. I started singing God Save the Queen. I was locked in for that British shit. I was dialed in.
I was like, you know what? Dig up that old bitch Elizabeth. I gotta dap her up right quick. She didn't write one.
I would never.
One.
I don't.
That's one dub.
I never say that.
Absolutely
I have
not. That's embarrassing.
I have too much respect and hatred and malice in my heart for the Crown.
Overall,
I give myself malice in my heart.
I give the season overall. I give it a 7. That finale's a 10. Just because how hard that ending hit,
solid,
fucked me up. It was like Infinity War level hole in my heart. I liked it.
Nice. I'll go next. I'll give the season as a whole a 7. I'll give the finale a 8.5. I thought it was great, really good, but I think the season the lows were just too low, and I was just kind of like, let's get through it. But I'm glad. I'm really excited and happy where we ended up, and I hope season 5 keeps up that energy. And like I said, since it's the final season, I feel like they'll just be like balls to the wall, bro. Here we go, crazy shit. Let's go. Let's finish the shit with a bang. So I'm excited for the next season.
Gerardo, what you got?
Yeah, all right. Season, I think it's the same. It's like it's not as good as season 3 for reasons I'll get into. I think it's an 8. Finale's a 10. But the next season's gonna have my fucking boy,
my mentally
boy, Soldier Boy,
the real Soldier Boy,
not Soldier. It's
Soldier
Boy. The moment I saw him in that little chamber, I was like, somewhere Gerardo's having the best time of his life.
I know. Dude, he loves that, man.
I ran that bitch 3 times and then I busted. I'm so ready. I love the dynamic that he brings to the show. I love
he brings a certain je ne sais quoi chaos.
Season 5 is going to be fucking hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like that's why they waited till season 5 to bring him back. They're like, it's the last one.
And they didn't want to pay him.
Yeah, probably. No, Eric Kripke would have paid him.
That's his boy, bro. Think about Supernatural.
Yeah. He probably got like $300K for sitting in that fucking bed.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
He said, "You want to get?" His agent was like, "You want to get paid? Lie down.
Sit
easy check.
That's it.
Easy check." I love Jensen Ackles, bro. That's my dog.
All right.
I give this finale. I don't know, man. I give it an 8. This is a solid 8.5 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
It did what it needed to do. It was a good ending to this season. It definitely sets up a whole lot. Like I said, it creates a lot more questions for the following season. and whatever else gets done with the spinoffs, et cetera, the fallout of that. Because Newman knew about the virus, and that virus was being cooked up in the Godolphin lab, and blah blah blah. There's so many things that can stem from this. We want to see how they move forward with the rest of the what's it called, the boys verse. For the entire season rating, I'll give it a 7 as well, 7.5, just simply because a lot of the high points that we experienced in seasons 1, 2, and 3 weren't exactly replicated in this season. Yeah. I can even venture to say like Gen V did a lot of high points better here and there than this season. Now, granted, the points that we did like really stood out. The season overall, though, I felt like it could have been a lot better, especially for the storyline we were going for. Now, maybe we're wrong, or they were just holding it back for season 5 to stuff all this shit in there.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Yeah. So we'll see. Season 5 should be the great closer of the boys' main storyline, at least. So great. Again, just to reiterate, big props to everyone cooking on this series, from cast, crew, even to the guys just catering the food out there. Y'all are all doing a great job. Keep it going. We want to see one final season, and then of course knock out the spinoffs and see what's going on.
Because so far we're blown away. Speaking of being blown away
and spinoffs and spinning, talk about the real, the one.
So shout out to
Still got it.
AZ said, speaking of blown away, shout out to my ex.
Facts. Shout out Jonathan. I don't know. I just picked the name off the door.
I just came in here like an EF5 and destroyed that transition, bro.
Nice.
See, I had to. I had to do it.
Oh, my bad. I fucked your shit up. My bad. I had to do it.
Do it to him.
Much like them dirty, filthy naders, baby. We're talking twisters.
Yeah,
He does.
Hell
yeah.
He
does. The natives.
If you feel I don't think you're allowed to say that.
I can't.
If you feel it, chase it.
If you feel it, chase it. Oh my God, I'm about to glaze so hard. I don't even care what anybody says.
Wait, what are we talking about?
They did. They're going to convince me to watch it.
We're talking about Twisters, the follow-up to the 1990s cult classic Twister.
1996 cult
96 classic. My birth year, baby. You know what I'm saying? We out here. All my 96 babies, stand up. We out here.
Shit year.
The greatest year of all
some
time, baby.
Of all time.
Hater. Anyways, we were talking about Twisters, man. The follow-up, this is essentially the Top Gun Maverick to Twister. Great follow-up, in my opinion. I think it was really good time. It was a fun film. You guys know me. I'm the number one Glenn Powell Glazer on earth. So once I saw he was attached to this movie, I was hooked. Then I saw my GOAT came back. Joseph Kosinski was working on this film. Ari was dialed in. Gerardo's arch nemesis was in there, so I was kind of like, I'm not.
He'll get to that.
Yeah, I'll get to it, but you gonna shit on it because you're a bitch.
Let's start at the top. Pacing overall, great story, very predictable story, but great nonetheless. I enjoyed it. I had fun. Top marks. My only gripe was that Daisy Edgar Jones' accent disappeared here and there, and I was like, bro, come on, you from Oklahoma, man. If you met someone we are all from Texas in this podcast, by the way, in case y'all not knowers who don't know. I've encountered many in Oklahoma, and man, I'm telling you right now, I don't care where you move on earth, that accent not going nowhere, okay?
Yeah, you can spot those fucking animals anywhere.
David was wrong. That accent not going anywhere, bro. You can be in England. They're gonna know you're not from the UK, bro.
I can hear those troglodytes from a mile away.
Troglodytes is crazy.
They got that shit on.
Dragon, goddamn Sooners.
So yeah, that's my only real gripe. But overall, acting, Glenn Powell, solid. Daisy Edgar Jones, solid. Even Anthony Ramos.
I've been writing for this film since the moment the first trailer came out.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all call me crazy. Y'all thought
I was the only believer with Luis.
I saw the Luis
truther. I got
the fucking vision, baby. I saw that trailer. I said, we're locked in. But honestly, what really convinced me that this was going to be a good movie was the fact that Lee Isaac Chung was directing.
Crazy Rich
Phenomenal
Asians.
filmmaker, made Minari one of the best films of that year and one of the best films of the past 15 years.
Oh,
Phenomenal, beautiful film. And so I knew that from a filmmaking perspective, it was going to be in good hands. Now, what I got kind of concerned about was I was like, it's supposed to be a summer blockbuster. We know how that can go. Studio interference. Just because you have a good filmmaker doesn't mean they're going to let him do what he wanted to do. But I think the movie worked out exactly how it needed to work out. You got good, charismatic actors leading your film. That's half the battle. You got an incredibly talented, competent filmmaker making your movie, so you know it's going to look good. You know it's going to feel good. You know the tone is going to be good and consistent all the way throughout. And then on top of that, you have a subject matter, an IP that lends itself to kind of blockbuster filmmaking, which is giant twisters. And I think the filmmakers and everybody involved knew exactly what they were making, because they're like, plot, who gives a fuck? I'm not worried about that shit. They're like, bro, here's what we're thinking: 4 big set pieces, tornadoes, sexy people, go. And Lee Isaac Chung was like,
easy.
I agree.
Easy.
I see the vision. Let's do it, man. Glenn Powell. Am I gonna say? I don't know if I'm gonna say. I don't know if what I'm gonna say is controversial, but is Glenn Powell who Austin Butler thinks he is?
Yes.
I don't know. Hey, different flavor white boy. They're doing different things. Austin Butler's doing the auteur thing, the kind of the sad artist kind of thing, and Glenn Powell's doing the I'm gonna be a movie star. I'm a fucking movie star. Every movie that I grew up watching.
Tom Cruise.
The new Tom Cruise, exactly. And it seems like a passing of the torch. Tom Cruise went to the Twisters premiere. He was there. You know, he didn't have to go. Why'd he show up? You know, so it does feel like
he said, this is my new top. This is the new top. This is this summer's Top Gun Maverick. I'm telling you, bro.
No, so Glenn Powell, honestly, he's awesome. Anthony Ramos, I know Fabio, you hate him. I thought he was really good. I thought he was really good, dude. I thought it worked. I think he's.
Did he sound like he was from Oklahoma?
No, but they don't say where he's from. He just went. Yeah, they say he's from Miami.
Miami.
Oh, he's from Miami. Is that why it sounds like he's from Jersey?
He's from Brooklyn in real life, but
actually,
but I think
was in the Heights.
I think he was good. I don't think he was bad. I think it really worked. I think his chemistry with Daisy was good. Which is who he shares most of his. He had good chemistry with Daisy. What are you talking about? I thought he was good. And obviously, Daisy Edgar Jones, I think she's amazing. She's so talented. She's the female Paul Mescal. Both started on Normal People, and now they're having
watch that fucking show. So and now get me to watch.
No one knows what the things you watch are.
Just shut the fuck up. Listen to what I'm saying. They both started on this show that premiered during the pandemic. And what I'm saying is that they both blew up, and now they're both huge.
And these fucking nerds got attached to that bullshit. And now you're trying to get me to watch it, and I'm not going.
Oh my god! Anyways, I'm just saying. I think the cast is amazing. Brandon Perea is amazing. I think he steals every scene he's in. King. Yeah, my Filipino king. What's your name?
Katie O'Brien didn't have.
Katie O'Brien didn't have shit to do.
But she was great.
Sasha Lane, but they were good. David Cornsweet is my only gripe with this movie.
Yes, that was my.
He was
poorly
objectively
miscast.
Bad. Yeah, he was
like
miscast.
A motherfucker.
He was bad in this. I'm sorry. He wasn't like intimidating or like
my agenda cannot
bad.
Is he the antagonist?
He wasn't like threat.
He was like the only thing.
The only antagonist.
Yeah, that's
besides the Twisters, the only human antagonist, but not really.
I'm a rebuttal on that. He wasn't the antagonist. He was like a thorn in the side. The real antagonist was capitalism and Riggs. That was the real
Riggs or whatever that name was.
Marshall Riggs or whatever.
Yeah. Riggs, that motherfucker.
David Cornsweet's character, was it Scott or whatever his name was like I don't even remember his
He was a pawn.
I just watched this.
Pawn, the capitalist.
A pawn in the capitalist, a cog in the capitalistic machine.
That's all he was.
Yeah, that's what I like in my disaster movie. A
Cinestro.
But AZ, they barely touch on it, dude. whatever.
It's very
no. I mean that it's just like a hyperbolic. That sounds interesting.
But this is what I'm going to say. I think this is why this movie is so successful, because whatever it's trying to say, it's not heavy-handed. This movie is as four quadrant as it gets. It's appealing to young people. It's appealing to older people. It's appealing to whatever side of the political spectrum you're on. Like, it appeals to everybody because it's got nothing to say, really.
Either you want to fuck Anthony Ramos if you're stupid. You want to fuck Daisy Edgar Jones, or Glenn Powell if you're normal.
Or all of them, you know?
Real.
So if you're real,
is that
exactly.
an option?
Well, it's just like, yeah, exactly. But here's the thing: is that this movie appeals to everybody, and I think it's so hard to make a movie that's four quadrants because it's hard to please everybody. But this movie just does it. Yeah. Like I said, it's got no overt political statement. It's trying to say it's fun, it's entertaining. The leads are engaging and talented and good and nice to look at, you know. And the movie just works and moves very well. It's a well-made summer blockbuster. It's exactly what you want when you go to the movies in July. You're like, I'm gonna get my popcorn. I'm gonna watch this movie. Popcorn and beer, and watch this movie, and I'm gonna have a good time and leave. And that's exactly what you get with Twisters.
Now, I would honestly say, I don't understand all this high praise for this movie because, quite frankly, I did not hear Slow Jams nor Overnight Celebrity once and learned nothing about my favorite rapper of all time through this entire film. So,
who's your favorite rapper?
Twisters, Twister, of course. Oh, this had nothing to do with it. Yeah, Twister was not in this film at all in the slightest, and I feel like that's a really.
How do you know? Have you watched the movie?
I haven't, but I haven't.
Twist shout.
I'll tell you, he's not in there.
But you know who
actually is people in this movie.
You know who is Don Omar?
Is he?
That first song in the beginning, Salió el Sol, at the very beginning, the reggaeton jam that comes out at the very beginning of the
dog
movie.
Shit? Yeah.
That shit was fire, bro. That's how it was locked in.
It's a great
Don Omar needle drop in the first scene of the movie. I said, "This is me. This is all me, baby."
The best one.
I'm locked in.
We
here, baby. We here.
You know, since people were complaining about like Gladiator having Jay-Z in the trailer, I just thought back to how like the trailer for this movie went exceptionally hard, and they put a country song in it by Luke Combs called "Ain't No Love in Oklahoma." That shit went hard, and it was
because racist people are gonna say
it was the same
Luke
song.
Luke Combs.
No, it's the same song they played when Tyler Owens pulled up to the little gas station, and my goat got out the truck, let the people know who he is. Him. If you feel it, chase it. I was locked the fuck in. I heard that song coming. Ain't no loving, no. I was like, yeah, boy.
And I'm just
get your Bud Light out.
I just lost so much respect for you.
Get your Bud Light out, brothers.
And I think this might be kind of like a romanticizing, like just like cinema and like filmmaking and Hollywood in a sense. But I do really like this idea of like if you have attractive people like in your cast, sexualize the fuck out of them. That scene where Glenn Powell's walking out of the house and it's raining and he's got a white shirt. It's like, bro, come on.
It was like, the opposite of the
I might need to watch this movie.
Scene with that lady.
Which one?
Her name?
Daisy Edgar Jones?
No, from the original Twister movie. They did the same thing, but
yeah. Exactly.
But now they did it right with a man.
Exactly. It's like stuff like that you're just like, yes, dude, we're cooking with gas. Like you know what you have. You're not taking yourself too seriously, and you're giving us something that's fun and like engaging and just like enjoyable. It's like fast food, right? Cinematic fast food. It's fun. Is it the greatest thing in the entire world?
No,
probably not. But who's not enjoying it? You know.
But this is something you're saying when you're drunk and you need something. You need something
and depressed.
in the background.
So what you're saying, Luis? What you're saying, Luis, is this film is a phrase I've coined time and time again: the chicken tenders of cinema.
Yeah. That's good. You have said that before.
I've said this multiple times. I said it about Transformers. Those are all the chicken tenders of cinema.
But yes, exactly. It's got hella Transformer vibes in that sense. It's like the chicken tenders of cinema. Yeah. And it's got the same guy in it too.
This movie isn't Civil War.
Oh shit, it does.
It's not Long Legs. It's not. Yeah. What's another good movie that came out this year?
Love Lies Bleeding.
Yeah, but it's like it's a good time. And going in as a hater, I was like, I'm gonna give this movie a chance, and I was like, okay, it was a fun time.
It was cool. A fun time.
Glenn Powell looks hot.
It has
Daisy Edgar Jones. I respect her, and I won't
sexualize her. She's talented.
Anthony Ramos is gay and stupid.
Hey, gay is not an insult.
It is when
I use it. When I use it.
No, I love gay people, except for Anthony Ramos,
who's not gay.
Gay is only an insult to the musical theater crowd, which is what Anthony Ramos is.
To use an accent other than his Brooklyn accent.
I know.
He needs to work on that.
I'm begging you. Like every single role I've seen him in. Luckily, he was in Brooklyn and Transformers, so it didn't matter.
Man, what's up, man?
I know. He's like, what's up?
Come on, man. What the fuck?
Dorothy.
Yo, my man.
Dorothy.
I'm walking.
Lights up on Washington Heights.
Good morning. Good morning.
The way Anthony Ramos talks,
café con leche was $20.
The way Anthony Ramos talks with his accent is the same way Lin-Manuel Miranda sounds when he raps, and that's why
it's not that bad. It's not that
bad. Lin is a great writer. That motherfucker needs to shut up.
Look, but I do think Anthony was good in this. Again, like I said, I think he was used in a good way. I think like his character was interesting, and I think he did do a good job acting.
Turn the heart at the last minute. Spoiler. Gay.
No reason.
No,
wait. I do have one question.
I do think you'd like it, him. AZ.
I do have one question. So I think the part in the trailer that turned me off of this, aside from seeing Anthony Ramos on my screen for more than 5 seconds, the part of the trailer that turned me off of it was when they're like, we found technology to stop the tornadoes, and they sent the balls up into the atmosphere. Is that explained? Because I watched the trailer, I was like,
watch the movie, bitch.
Okay, I'll tell him right now. In detail, yes,
I'm about to get
that is a thing.
In
the world, it's probably not realistic.
No.
Have you seen the first one? Hold on, AZ. Have you seen the first Twisters?
Like when I was 5, nigga. I haven't seen it in years.
No. Let's continue.
What did you say, Gerardo? What were you saying?
What I was saying is that yes, that is explained. It makes
sense. I just want to know if it was explained in detail because that was going to piss me off.
It's a blockbuster. You don't have to fucking. The science doesn't need to check out.
No, even if it doesn't check out, I would like if they. I just wanted to know like if that's ever explained or if they just go with it.
I would say it's like a driving factor in the story.
That shit. When I was waiting for Planet of the Apes to start, and that came on, and I was like, "What the fuck did they just say? I beg your fucking pardon. Ping pong balls are gonna stop the tornado? Enlighten me, nigga, please."
Az, that's like saying, oh. Does the beekeeper organization make sense in the beekeeper? Who gives a fuck?
That's like saying, what? Temp you put it in a baby and it gives it powers?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, come on, bro.
It's a movie.
It's a movie.
No, I just wanted to know if it had an I think that was just like, because I've always thought of Twisters as relatively grounded as a franchise because there's a bunch of people chasing tornadoes. You know, there's nothing like crazy fantastical that happens, right? And from what I remember of the first one, right, it's relatively grounded, right? So to go from that, relatively, I say relatively.
They drove through a fucking house while the tornado was blowing around them. The first one is not grounded for shit.
Relatively, it's not set in space.
They held a pipe, and the tornado was above them.
That's where I was like, okay, you know what? That's cool. You know, I guess we can find some kind of bullshit explanation for that, right? So then when this came out, and I saw balls stopping tornadoes, I said,
that's also that
sounds dumb as shit.
It's a callback to the first movie, also the original. So, but look, I'd never seen
the first movie.
I had never seen Twister, the first one. I watched it in preparation for this movie, and I was like, "That's pretty good. Kind of boring, but it's at times, but it's pretty good."
I mean, it's
Twisters,
got Bill Paxton. What do you expect?
Oh, come on, bro. But Twisters, I think, is much better than the original movie.
Way much better because they got Glenn Powell in it.
It's more exciting, better CGI. The leads are actually
hotter people.
The music good.
The music does go hard.
Music fucks, yeah.
Before we get to the rating of this film, I wanted to just discuss something that I feel like Luis, you brought it up a second ago. I've thought of it back and forth as we've discussed the different movies we've talked about this year. We got to talk about my man's Glenn Powell, the star that he is. This is. I can even venture and say this is the next Tom Cruise. This is our Tom Cruise, more or less. I know we grew up with Tom Cruise, but for the next wave of moviegoers, this guy's been in Top Gun Maverick. He's been in Hitman. He's been in Expendables 3. He's been in Anyone But You. He's been in Twisters. He's been in so many different things. Batman. He was in Spy Kids 3.
Spy Kids 3D, baby.
He's been in everything.
Wait. He was in Batman?
He was like a stockbroker.
He was like a stockbroker in the Dark Knight.
Okay. I was about to say.
No, The Dark Knight Rises, right? Was it The Dark Knight Rises?
Yeah, one of them.
Whenever Bane came in there and did
those movies are dog shit anyway.
Yeah, mid.
Yeah, no, Glenn Powell has really solid, and we've seen him pop up throughout the years, and we've seen him really solidify himself as a leading man. He commands his presence on the films he's in. I know he's kind of getting typecast as the asshole character who becomes lovable towards the end, but he does it so well. I mean, I can't fucking fault the casting director, bro.
Glenn is he's just so charming, dude.
He's freaking talented, dude.
And you can't.
You have to give him that ability to turn you around within the movie, because you're like,
Glenn Powell for
look at that smile.
Yeah, dude. The moment you spend 2 minutes with any character of his, you're like, I like this dude, bro. Yeah, he's an asshole. Yeah. But I like him, dude, and I can't not like him, and that's
even they know what they're doing when they cast Glenn.
I think the biggest showing of that is in Hitman, because they try to get you not only to believe that he's unattractive, but try to make him unlikable. And I'm like, dude, it's Glenn Powell.
From the second he was in, I said, yo,
this man could be a Nazi, and I'd be like, all right, but let's hear him out though. Like Glenn Powell was just a likable dude.
He might have some good points.
He might have some good point. Who knows?
I let him slide. No,
I heard about Israel.
No, yeah, Glenn is just he's a phenomenal performer. I feel like we're going to be seeing a whole lot more of him in the very not so distant future,
for sure.
Especially with the way things are going within other major franchises like the MCU, DCU. We'll see. We're probably going to see him in one of those two, if not both.
This is something that I think is very interesting. I don't think Glenn Powell is that versatile an actor. I don't think he's the greatest actor I've ever seen. But I think
need to be.
But exactly, but he doesn't need to be. Much unlike Jack Quaid, Glenn. No, but that's a good comparison. It's a good comparison.
To kill him.
Glenn is a better actor than Jack, right? Jack is not a good actor. Glenn is. Glenn's not the greatest actor I've ever seen, but he's incredibly charming. He's very handsome. He has a wonderful screen presence, and it's like to be a movie star. That's all you need, baby. Yeah. He's got it. You
don't need famous parents. Just be hot.
Yeah, exactly. You don't need famous. You just gotta look hot and do what you do well.
Texas, baby. He's from Texas, baby.
Wait, what part of Texas?
City, he's from Austin. He's still one of us.
Of course, that makes sense. That's where all the pretty people are at.
One of us.
There's no ugly people in Austin that I've seen.
I've seen
a couple.
You haven't been to Austin often enough.
One of them is in the governor's mansion.
Busted ass.
You ain't seen Hot Wheels before.
Greg, I can't stand it.
What do you rate the movie?
I was about to say, what are our ratings for this film, guys? What do you got? We'll start with AZ since he hasn't seen it. What's your hype?
How can you? What's your hype?
I'm still at a 6. It's like it was at a 5, like a lukewarm 5, because I didn't care about it.
Yeah.
And then it got to a 6 because you said Glenn Powell gets wet and slightly shirtless, and that was coming.
Yeah, not shirtless.
Yeah,
let's get
you
wet.
Can't see the cum.
I'll take what I can get. I'll take what I can get.
Fair.
All right, fair. So you give him a 6. All right. Gerardo, what you got?
I'll give it an 8. It was a fun time. I was expecting that. I went in and I was like, this is gonna be dog shit, but I was like, no, let's give it a chance. Let's get my shiner. Let's see what happens. I was like, okay, this is a good time. You
saw that Cinemark for real.
AMC, fuck Cinemark.
They got shiner there. Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, it was a good time, and I like the vast majority of the cast except for 2 people, and I think that's a good ratio.
Who's the one you didn't like?
David and Anthony.
Oh yeah, David was ass. Yeah,
reasonable.
He's just miscast. I don't think he was ass. I just think that's not he can't be a straight villain. He's got to be like slightly dog shit, you know?
Dude, we know he's. I think it's a fact also that we know he's Superman. That might be jigging a little
I know.
No, he's Hollywood to me.
My agenda has to succeed.
I forgot his
this
name.
movie is not boosting my agenda very well.
I know, right? And then all the set leaks aren't helping either.
Everybody's got a stinker. It's all right.
Yeah, we all got a stinker.
Luis, what's your rating, bro?
I'll give this movie an 8.5. I think is again obviously not the greatest movie ever made, but I think for what it is, it's perfect. It's a perfect blockbuster, summer blockbuster. Like I said, sexy people, exciting set pieces. It's incredible charisma and energy, and it flies by really fast. Great filmmaking, and it's all I wanted from a Twisters movie, and so it delivered, and it was great. 8.5.
Agreed. I agree on all those points. This is the summer blockbuster. I know we got Deadpool and Wolverine coming up. So that's
boo.
I want to like it. Stop being a hater.
MCU effect is gonna come up. But nah,
MCU stock going all the way up.
It's going down, baby.
This film right here is definitely getting 8.5, but I was already gonna be hyped about it. But once I actually watched it, man, I'm pushed that 8.5 to a 9, bro. This shit was solid. Like I said, my only gripes were David Corenswet's not anticlimactic, not so villainous villain, and then Daisy Edgar Jones' accent going MIA.
I barely noticed it.
Yeah, she was good.
It's because I was paying too minor. That's my problem. I go in there and I just notice minor shit that doesn't really matter in the end. But I think.
But see, another thing, cast beautiful people, we won't notice shit like their accent, like going missing.
If Jack Quaid didn't look like a emaciated Victorian child, I probably would have noticed that he was dog shit.
Exactly. If he was as gorgeous as Glenn Powell, I'd forgive him, bro. I swear to God. I'd be
recast Huey as Glenn Powell.
Just don't even
much better show.
Oh yeah, so yeah, definitely high ratings from everyone, save for AZ who hasn't seen it. So I don't know if we're gonna count that.
I'll probably go to a 7 when I see it. I feel like I'm not gonna. I just don't like disaster movies that much.
It's not really a disaster movie so much as it is a
character study on Oklahomans.
Yeah.
And what kind of beasts they are.
I mean, if I wanted to study Oklahomans, I'd get like Jane Goodall, just somebody familiar with monkeys.
Oh my God!
God damn!
Jesus Christ, bro!
Texas till I die, baby.
Overall, we were the only state
Lone Star, baby.
The greatest motherfucking country in the world. Only state that
and handle these nuts, nigga.
I don't know.
Yeah. Tejas, baby.
Deep in the heart of Texas, and we are deep into the heart of this episode, guys. It's been a fantastic time talking to y'all about all the great things going on with the Cinestro Corps here with Twisters, the boys season finale, and much more we got going on here. Go ahead and do us a quick favor. Follow the homies over at Backstage OL. Tap in with them. They got going on all types of crazy stuff, swirling around like a tornado in their office, in their mind. They got some more cool things going on with their expanding their different networks and channels they're tapping into. So go ahead and give them a follow if you want all news, all things Hollywood. Go ahead and tap in with our boy AZ on twitch.tv/Tari Singo. Tap in. He's getting back on them streams. Follow him on YouTube as well at Tari Singo. I'm gonna have all those at names in the description below on the ticker and in the description. But with that being said,
my tickers.
Shout out my real twisters.
Shout out my twisters.
But with that being said, you guys, another thrilling episode's in the books. Huge shout out to everyone who tuned in today. Go ahead and keep the excitement going by following us on all platforms at Cinestro Corp, no S. We've got an epic lineup this year that you guys do not want to miss. Remember to smash that MF like and subscribe button so you guys never miss a beat. Show us some love by leaving a stellar 5-star review wherever you catch this podcast. Spread the word about our podcast far and wide. Share our YouTube channel far and wide. Share it with your friends, your family, your entire network. Y'all support means the absolute world to us, you guys. And until next time, stay awesome, be cool, and tap in with your boys over at the Cinestro Corps. Peace.